So I took these in today. The guy wants me to dismount the tires and mount these and polish up the wheels. Now he's not wanting like a quote unquote restoration or anything like that. He just wants a nice little polish. There is some oxidation on there, but I'm going to take my prepping wheel and go over it a couple times and call it a day and just polish them out. He doesn't want to get too involved with it. I'll just end up cleaning the back of these. Obviously, looks like somebody might have painted them at one time. I don't know. But he doesn't want me to mess with that, so we're just going to give it a good wash, leave it be. The hardest part of this operation is going to be getting in here, and it looks like somebody painted it. You can see the oxidation on my finger. Paint's kind of flaking, but see if this little wheel can do something with it. If not, I can put it in the dip and that'll eat it all up. But I don't want to go too far because then it's going to eat everything up on the backside and leave it unprotected. So I think I'm gonna just see what I can do with this and a few other things and let it be. Like I said, he doesn't want to get too involved. A few steps might be missed or not done, but like I said, sometimes you got to do what the customer wants and that'll be just fine. So stick with me. Okay, so got the old tires off. Got them sitting outside. So here's what we're dealing with. I guess these were coated. I mean, it looks like a factory coating, but over time, I personally have never seen ones. I have seen painted wheels and powder coated wheels, obviously, but as far as maybe someone did that at some time, that's a strange color. That's usually usually a black or something like that, but this is like a almost like a gray. I don't know. It's kind of, I've never seen any done like that. Maybe it was done at some point in time. Anyway, I'm going to get in here and see what I can do about cleaning that up a little bit. Like I said, the guy that owns these, he's not, we're not doing a full-on restoration here because, well, that's what he wants. And the truck or vehicle they're going on, I don't think he's that concerned with it. We're not trying to get that level or say that level over there, excuse the pollen. We're not trying to get to all that or other things I've done, but we can knock down the oxidation a bit and get a nice little shine on them. Like I said, we're not going to be fixing anything like that. That's not what he's asking. It's always tempting because, you know, that's what, especially when you get used to doing that kind of stuff. But like I said, I mean, you can see where that's got a little bend to it, and maybe, yeah, it feels like a bend. But so we're not fixing anything like that. We're just going to give a nice little polish, take these off, put new ones on. Just give a nice little clean polish, get this cleaned up a little bit, and that's what we're doing with those. So I'm going to go fire up the compressor, get some tools out, get some rags out, blah, blah, blah. All right, so like I said, the guy isn't wanting, you know, like I said, we're not doing a full-on resto, nothing like that. But I am going to try and clean up these holes a bit to get it kind of looking like that and not that. Like I said, they got some kind of coating on them, but I'm going to get all that off, work on it more tomorrow. It kicks up way too much dust to be in my shop. The weather is nice, so I'm going to go outside and do that tomorrow. That's why I always save these wheels, even if they're used. Even the smallest wheel can be used for something because, as you see, that goes in there nicely. They're not super expensive, but they go pretty quick. So it can get expensive when you're going through 5 or 6 on, let's say, a job like this. Because, yeah, you can take a full one. I don't know if I have one out right now. But, yeah, here you go. So you can take a full one and this one isn't 100% full. I have used it, but it's definitely bigger than the one I'm using. As you can see, you know, it doesn't go down in there nice. A brand new one will sit about right there, if you can see. People say, well, yeah, just jam it on in there. You can, but like I said, some of the jobs I get in, like motorcycle forks and stuff like that, these are very, very handy. And to just destroy it, if you don't have to, if you got a couple that are kind of ate up, and even a little smaller than this, it'll still work. So I always save things like that. But anyway, got these dismounted and get these outside tomorrow and keep on going with these. I got 3 done in here, maybe 10 to 15 minutes per hole, give or take, but maybe outside it'll go quicker because I'm kind of jabbing it and stopping, because I'm trying not to pick up a lot of dust in here. So that's that, and hopefully I'll have at least 2 done by tomorrow. Once I get the holes done, the rest of it shouldn't take long, should kind of go kind of quick. But yeah, there's another one. But anyway, that's that, and hopefully I'll get the camera set up and have a little bit show a little bit of the work that's going into them, but I didn't take any time to do it to set the camera up tonight. I just kind of got messing around. I always like to kind of just see how it'll work out. So anyway, see you later. Okay, so what I'm doing now with this prep wheel is I'm going to go around this a few times. I've already done the holes on this one. I'm going to go around this a few times and show you what that's going to look like. Now, I had already done the face, but that's what you're going to end up with pretty much. Going from this to that. Now, if you look deep inside of there, you can still see some like minor pitting. Like I said, the guy, he's not trying to go all out with these. He just wants a nice little polish. Like I said, I'm not fixing all of that. A little bit of curb rash. Normal circumstances, I would dip these, get all of this off, maybe even powder coat the back if that's what he wanted, or customer wanted, whoever. But he's not concerned with that, so I show all of that just so, you know, if anyone watching the video, you know, people like to jump on things and say, you didn't do this, why didn't you do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, sometimes you do miss things. If you do it enough, you kind of know that, all right, we don't have to go all out doing this particular job because of the result that we want. But these are still going to shine up nicely. Like I said, excuse me, not sure how old these are, but I mean, they got some minor pitting in there, nothing serious. But, you know, if you wanted to, you could take something a little, there's other wheels that they make that will cut it down even more. And you can sand it down really as much as you want until it gets smooth. It just takes a lot of time, a lot of work. You want to make sure that you're not working in the area too much to where you're taking out too much material and you get a belly in there that to me looks worse than a curb rash. But even in here and whatnot, of course it's a little dark out here on the apron, but like I got in there pretty good, got all of the coating off that was on them, and they've got some pitting. what happens with aluminum wheels that has coatings or clear or whatever on them, over time, that, you know, wherever you get like a little rip or tear in the coating, just like with rust, oxidation creeps in, you know, water gets in there, it could freeze, separating the coating even more, or just over time. It's just like cancer, it just eats. But again, I just reiterate, we're not going super deep with these because I could go really deep with those and get all of that out. But again, he just wants a nice little polish on them. So I'm going to keep on with that, and then tomorrow get some, kind of like to do that when it's daylight so I can see exactly what's happening. But I'm going to go ahead and say this one's kind of not done, but anyway, like I said, I did ask if he wanted the backs done. He said no. I know this guy pretty well. These aren't going on a show car or anything like that, so it'll be all right. So like you said, you're going to end up with this, you know, going from that, all that oxidation. I mean, you can scrub by hand and you'll still have that oxidation, but like you see that down there in the hole, but you see what you got right here. But anyway, do that, get some rouge on it tomorrow, then some polish. So hopefully I can get those out of here by the weekend. Mini nets coming next weekend. I got to get out of here, put a few bucks in my pocket, and keep on keeping on. So here it is, pretty much the finished product on those wheels I was working on earlier. Got the tires mounted. It came out pretty good. Like I said, we weren't going super deep with these. As I said a couple times already, just want to give a nice little polish. Like I said, it's kind of, I don't know, you got to kind of gauge how far you want to go, because I mean the sky's the limit really. I mean you could file this thing all the way down to damn near nothing and start anew. Different wheels, different sanding discs, and whatever you want to do, but sometimes you got to be able to know when to say this is what all we need to do, and this will get the job done for what we're working on. So I'm kind of happy with it. Looks pretty good compared to what came in. All the oxidation is off. Like I said, still has a little bit of pitting on it. Nothing terrible, but like I said, it's not going on a show truck. Nothing like that. So it's not like, I mean, it's one of them things of, you ever have a project that you're working on and you put things together, like everything apart looks kind of like, well, I don't know if this is going to look good, but once you get it all together, everything just kind of gels and looks the way it should. These are going to look really good on his truck. I got 2 more to do and get these out of here. Thanks for watching.